Alright, so I thought I'd give a little bit of a teardown and explanation of how this vomiting zombie actually works. I've removed the jacket and the arms that are there on the side, and you can see here some of the main components. This is this bucket of water with red food coloring that's become blood. This is the central pump. It's like a battery-operated pump that you would use to siphon gasoline. And this is the actual zombie head with the buttons that light up, the silicone zombie mouth. And back here, some of the electronics that are coming out from the buttons and the LEDs. And there's a bunch of electronics in here that I've sort of bundled up that I'll unpack and explain what it's all doing. And you can see over here on the left is the speaker that creates the sounds from the zombie. And let me open this up and show you all what's inside. I've opened up the holder that I had hanging off the back. You can see here there's three main things to look at. There's two battery packs. There's a USB hub that actually has a switch on it that I've used to turn on and off the actual lights here, and the processor, as I'll talk about. And just a plastic bag with the main electronics components, which I'll take this out. There's two main actual boards here. The first one is an Arduino. This is a feather that I'm using. It's hooked onto a feather audio shield, and the audio shield is what gives us this nice aux out that we can wire into our speaker there. And then off of the Arduino, we also are routing into a relay, which is what we're using to run the motor. To power the motor, what I found was that once it's pumping fluid, it likes to operate at a point of around a current draw of around 3 amps. And so I found a battery pack that was capable of delivering 5 volts, 3 amps. And so I have a little hot power breakout here that's letting me tap out of the micro USB cable and bring 5 volts onto the relay output. I have logic level in controlling the actual relay, and then 5 volt 3 amp output off of the screw header, and that's going wired into the actual motor through this. And I've just soldered on those wires onto the inside of the actual battery casing. Normally that holds a couple D batteries to power the pump. So that's one power breakout board right there. And then this is just another battery pack that I have that I've just separated the two power supplies. And this one is powering the actual logic circuitry, which can function not needing the 5 volt 3 amps. So I have this into this USB multi-adapter block, and the reason I'm using this is so I can use this on and off switch to control what gets power. And as soon as I turn that block on, it starts powering the actual Arduino, as well as I've got two USB cables coming out of this. One is headed into the Arduino, and the other is headed into the second light breakout, which you can see is connected to the LEDs. And that's what allows us to get the light coming out of the zombie's eyes. So just a nice little separation, and then off of these buttons, since they're momentary contact, I have the actual conductors for the switches, and those are wired back into the Arduino as well. I have them set to be input pull-up with a common ground, and that's how it detects. I'll also put up the code and schematics for this as well. And what that allows us to do is get this set up wherein we can turn on the speaker on the side and then press, for instance, this button and get that zombie roar that we're looking for. It also allows us to get the water flow through the pump into the silicone zombie mouth and then back into the bucket. It's a pretty nice setup for a couple reasons. One is it's compact, and so you can package it up in that box. You could even hide it behind the bucket. At one point I was considering putting it actually inside the head, and then decided not to do that because it was getting really tippy as far as balance goes. You can see I have packing tape to kind of keep it upright on this work chair that's being wheeled around. And the second thing is that, you know, it's a little bit scalable, so you can apply this to other animatronics, to anything else that you want to move, do motion, and such. And you can add more components. Initially, I wanted to have a variable speed motor controller so that I could vary the flow of the fake vomit, as it were, and realized that the 3 amp current draw was capping out some of the small motor controllers that I had available, like the VEX 29s. And so just started using a relay. Those can handle a lot of voltage and more current. So it's easier, and it's a pretty fun Halloween decoration. It took me about an afternoon to put together, Saturday afternoon. So it's a fun project, not super complex, but it's got some fun moving parts, and you can pull out a handy dandy demo and excite some people. And there you have it. That was just the audio, and one last time with the actual vomit flow itself. An animatronic vomiting zombie.